Good morning, everybody. Buddy Webb here, Midland, Texas. This is going to be a real good video, and hopefully, I'm going to try to keep it on the short side. But there's so much evidence that's going to be hard because I want to talk about the burglaries and the theft, and a part of these crimes of the racketeering that's going on. It looks like it's nationwide racketeering; that it's much bigger than just my house. But I want to give you the history of. In 2008, I transferred into Midland. My company, large oil company, offered me a position here. I was a 25-year company man, and I buy this home where the young previous homeowner had just died, Mike Lawhon, and they told me it was an accident. I've now found evidence where I believe that he was murdered, probably by the same people who tried to kill me, and then just recently, it was a friend of his that told one of my friends that he was telling them that people were breaking into this home uh, before he died. Same crimes that I reported. I move in here and I'm living here a couple years, and I report my first burglary on November 9th, 2010. And it wasn't in the attic, I didn't think anything about tunnels, attic, none of that. I just recognized that somebody had been inside my home, and I have videos on that talking about that first night on November 9th, 2010. A couple months later is when I made my second call to the police for a burglary. Now, keep in mind that that's a felony. People can go to prison for 10 years, for a decade for a burglary of habitation, a felony. That time, I heard somebody in the attic of my house, and that's unusual, odd, and I had no idea the extent of it at the time. But I was a credible witness. I was a granddad, long term 27-year company man. I expected to believe, never had a felony. I'm a supporter of law enforcement, and all that. And even on that first police report, I'll show you here in a minute that they automatically put me possible 1096. So the slander, which seems to be the modus operandi. That's what I've noticed, that there's a pattern that the crime victims that report crime to these corrupt police, they're labeled. They're having their lives destroyed because they're labeled. Oh, he's crazy. And what the problem is these corrupt police are working with these criminals and this organized crime and on the burglary, the theft, the murder, etc. And we'll see that this video is more on the burglary side though. And so, anyways, I recognized somebody breaking my house. Well, and I called the police a couple times, and I've had many people. Well, why don't you install cameras? Well, I did, and extensively, multiple camera systems, different security systems, and I think they've done their job. But one of the things that I figured out early was that they were coming in my house. I knew they were coming to my house, but I couldn't catch them on camera. Okay, and it took a long time to prove that they were hacking. I finally proved it beyond any reasonable doubt. It's like I told Homeland in 2019 when they were asking me, why do you install cameras? And I was like, well, I did. I said, but they're hacking us. I don't have to prove how they're hacking it to prove they are hacking it. He says, that's right. And I'm going, that's right. And I can show you, I've got videos on that showing you, I have proof that they're hacking my camera systems, my security systems. And that should be a national, story. There's no telling how many people have been raped, murdered, robbed, using this hack, because it's organized crime and with significant police corruption to get away with the burglary, thefts, and murders, and rigging these private homes. And so, anyways, we're going to go over there. We're going to talk about that. Theft of services. I've probably seen every kind of excuse that there is. Well, it couldn't get mine, it was too hot. Well, they're breaking apart the HVAC system, and I have proof videos on that, or how the people are breaking my home. We're going to touch just a little bit on why, and that's possible motives for doing this, and for murder. And then where do we start to stop this, and we're going to do this. But back to these cameras I installed. I figured out that I knew they were hacking them, but I didn't know how. But what I did is bought some little standalone motion detectors, and you could get them at Home Depot. You can get them online, and or Lowe's, whatever. And basically, they're security devices. They're dumb devices because they're not computer. They're not run by a central computer and part of a security system. They're just battery operated. You stick them in front of a door, somebody walks in front of it, and it goes beep, and then you're there. And then they're portable, battery operated. And so I could put them, in different places in my house, in different places in my attic. And if somebody walked in front of it, it goes off. Okay, and so them are not hackable, and so I started making videos of them, post them on the internet. I'm going to show you that. There's so many, you can't imagine how many of these burglar alarms that have gone off, and one of the ones I got, it's got a light on it, so it flashes, and then so the cameras I do have in the attic, it would see the flashing lights, and I'd be down here. I could hear, when a person got in front of that alarm, it'd go off, and so I knew somebody was there. Of course, that goes along with, before I even installed it, I could hear people moving around. I've heard them fart, cough, giggle, fall down, drop their gun sometimes, and even recently I've heard boom, like a door shut, and just loud noises or falling down noises. I've never heard them speak, and if they would, then I could get it recorded, and I'd sure have that posted on the internet. But we're really past the point of even, you need evidence. I got plenty of evidence. There's so much evidence. This is just to the point of lawlessness is what we are. And I'm not even the only victim. But what I want to show you here before we even get started on the computer, what I'm going to show you is these little burglar alarms and how well they work. Because all this time I've been talking, right there, I've got one set up. Okay, and I'm just going to walk a couple feet, and I want you to watch this. You see, that's what I've recorded right there, and I set these up in the attic, and all of a sudden I'm down here and they go off, and hundreds of times, and so that, these videos were burglar alarms. These weren't hackable, you know what I mean? What they could do is turn them off, and they did, because they're actually in the attic. I saw a young Hispanic guy in my attic. This is not a what if, could be, that's a good idea, it might be, that's your assessment, none of that. It's absolutely 100% positively sure people are breaking into my home. They're breaking into these other homes, and these crimes are going on. This lawlessness is going on. I'm going to show you on the computer. All right, I'm back here at the computer, and I got some files set up and ready to go. And what I want to show you first here in Texas, that the definition of burglary. A person commits an offense if without the effective consent of the owner, they enter a building or habitation and commits or attempts to commit a felony, theft, or assault, okay? And enter means to intrude any part of the body or physical object connected to the body, such as the gun they shot me with, okay? So that's, I know even before I was ambushed and shot while my dad was alive, we were talking, and I really feel like my dad and my family, they knew about the crimes going on here. And Dad said one time, he said, well, they're not taking anything, are they? And that's the other thing that a lot of people think, it's only a burglary if they're breaking in your home and stealing jewelry and TVs. And they're not stealing jewelry and TVs. They're not stealing items, okay? They've rigged this home so they can come in and leave at will, and they do it multiple times. And so basically they're getting free room and board is what they're getting, which is about $2,000 a month around here, so it's very profitable. I believe it's probably connected to human trafficking, because human traffickers, they have to pay, for their product to stay somewhere, they're humans, right? And so motels are real expensive, so they can rig private homes, and all they got to do is pay off some secret police and murder a few homeowners every once in a while, and they got, that's $2,000 a month, and then in the times 10, well, that's $20,000 a month. Well, do 100 of them, there's $2 million a month, cash money, very lucrative right here, so that's only an idea. But the other side of that is the felony here, theft of services, okay? And that's a person commits theft of services if with intent to avoid payment for service the actor knows are provided for, such as shelter, light, electricity, heating, cooling, okay? Intentionally or knowingly diverts the other services for their own benefit. So they've broken apart the pipes in my attic, and I'm sure they've done this at other places because it would be hot in the attic. You know, they use my electricity, use my lights, because otherwise it's going to be dark, or they're going to have to buy a lot of batteries, right? And then of course when it rains they don't get wet, you know. And I mean, I'm sure it beats the crap out of sleeping under a mesquite bush, you know. And so anyway, I just want to go on the law of the seriousness of the burglary, theft, and then of course on the murder side, you know, and that's not what this video is about. Okay. Mike Lawhon, he was a young previous homeowner, died 27 years old. And when I first looked at the house, he was alive. 12 days later, he was dead, you know. And there's a whole story. I got videos on Mike Lawhon. His widow, Sarah Lawhon, dropped the price of this house $35,000 and sold it to me, you know. And I was later told you were chosen to buy this home. Recently, I got the screenshot. It was a friend of Mike's was telling one of my Facebook friends that he felt like people were in this house. He knew people were in this house. So Mike Lawhon was reporting people in the here in this house. I tried to get police reports for this house before I moved here, and I was denied. And then I appealed it, and they sent it up to Paxton, the Texas Attorney General, and they denied me. They didn't. I got a feeling the police reports for this home before I moved here would have evidence and information that would be important to my case, and it's being intentionally withheld, hidden from me. And I think the reason is because there was previous crimes at this home, and that's what I was looking for, and that's what they were trying to withhold from me. These are the first two police reports side by side. The first one here, I'm going to zoom in, is on November 9th, 2010. Keep in mind, I was here, you know, I was living here 2 years. I was a 27-year company man, granddad, and homeowner, you know. And that wasn't for somebody in my attic. That was somebody in my house. I recognized somebody had been in my house. These are the first police officers, A. Corson, Stephen Truex. And right off the bat, they started a complainant, possible 1096. So I reported a burglary, not even in my attic, and they were already starting the slander, the defamation of character, and the libel. I feel like if a legitimate law enforcement officer talks to Corson and Truex, I got a feeling that you set them down where they'll go to prison if they lie to a police officer, and you ask them if they know about the $1 million underground homes that are hosting parties for international shows, and they knew that when I reported this burglary it was valid, and that's why they were falsely labeling me 1096. I think they might admit to that. There's the police report on that on the first call. 2 months later, my second call to the police there, January 8, 2011. That's the first time I heard somebody in the attic of my house. You know, now homeowners all over Midland, Odessa, Texas, and many other states are documenting and reported people in the attic. You know, and I've documented burglar alarms on my attic more times than I can count. Okay, they knew I had a shotgun, see, and because I had guns, because I would, you know, I tell you what, I was in my closet and I was scared to death is what it was. The husband of April Chandler, she's one of the secret police, he was on that first call for somebody in my attic. A. Corson, Michael Chandler, Bradley Alexander come to my home on that time. Here's another Moeller and Peter Delinger. And this time, then they just went ahead and went full-blown slander, libel, defamation of character. They called me 1096. This was a valid, call. Once again, I believe if legitimate law enforcement officers would investigate, this Corson was also on the first call. Look at that. And then you're going to find out that, oh, yeah, we do know about $1 million underground facilities hosting parties for international old shows. And yeah, that is why we called him 1096. And that's what we do for all the homeowners that report crime, you know, that we're involved in. And I bet that's the case. You know, I mean, I've got it on the recorded police scanner calls where the other homeowners are recorded 1096. The dispatcher's calling them that before the police even get there. Okay. This here, minutes after I'm shot, okay, the nurse is documenting me at the hospital, 11/27, 1/28/12. I'd just been ambushed and shot with my phone lines cut. And, you know, and I'd come home, recognize somebody had been inside my home again, not in my attic, inside my living room, right? That's why I tie-wired my door shut. I was trying to compartmentalize my home. Okay, and so then I'm shot. I crawled out because they stole my phone and cut my phone lines. So I had to crawl out to save my life, you know. And the nurse is documenting what I'm saying here. But she was documenting me saying there are sirens going off. The alarms kept going off. Them alarms were burglar alarms in my attic, like we heard a minute ago, you know. And I'm saying I towered the doors. This picture here shows pry marks on the inside top door jamb of my guest bathroom. I had tie wired that bathroom shut, and because somebody used a tool trying to pry this door open, the door was torn off the hinge. I knew I had trapped a burglar, and I'd been reporting burglaries in this bathroom. That meant that I was shot during a burglary. When I was shot, there was a person trapped in that bathroom when I tie wired that door shut because I recognized somebody in the house, and they were trying to pry themselves out. This video is not about that. It's believed that Lieutenant Dickey, Midland MPD Lieutenant Dickey, is the person that let this burglar out because he was in my house at 11:05 and he wasn't seen arriving on the cameras that seen me crawl out and seen Woodward and Naylor arrive. So it's believed Dickey come up from the underground entrance, come over and let this burglar out. So that meant that these corrupt police were working with the burglars that were committing the crimes against me. And here, keep in mind, I'm calling the police to report the burglaries at my house. By that time, I'd already called the police, the Texas Rangers, and the FBI about these felonies that could send this person that's in this room to prison for a decade. And if that officer is working with these criminals that are breaking this home, he can go to prison too. And you know, and that's not even mentioning, you know, saying that maybe it was a police officer that shot me. Okay. Okay, this is one of my earliest documentations, and this was after I was shot, but I had put in them camera systems. This is one of my first systems. This was a Samsung camera system, and what was going on at that time here in March 3rd, I had just got out of the hospital in February 2012. You know, crippled for life. I was still on crutches, and here what was going on, they were physically disconnecting the camera. Okay, and that was going on before I was shot. That was going on when the ex-wife, if somebody would ask that ex-wife, then she has to admit this was going on, you know, over and over and over, almost on a daily basis, that these alarms were going off in my attic. I just happened to take a picture of it here in March, so I have that one. I installed a Vivint alarm system in my attic to prove these crimes, you know, and because Vivint comes by and you know, and they're like, well, you know, this will give you proof, you know, and then all of a sudden the police will do something, but you know, then we know that's not right, and this isn't sized correctly, but either way, okay, so a Vivint alarm system in my attic. That's unusual, right? I'm paid over $1,000 to have a third party security system installed in my attic. And what was happening was my other alarms were going off. I could hear people moving around. The Vivint alarm sitting there is acting stupid, you know, like they're bypassing the Vivint alarm system. So I'm calling Vivint going, you know, hey guys, I'm going to sue you. I've already been shot. You know, your security system's not going off. Mine's going off. They come over here. Well, let me check. Oh, we found a program in there. And the next day it calls the police to my home, right? So I really sincerely believe we're going to find out that these criminals actually were, they can bypass that Vivint alarm system. And, you know, the only reason they finally had to allow it to go off because I'm threatening to sue them, you know. And so the Vivint alarm system calls the police, not me, you know. And here, alarm is in the attic. Homeowner thinks there's somebody in the attic. Yeah. And not only the homeowner, the Vivint alarm system said there was somebody in the attic. This police report here on December 9th. This is one of the ones that was withheld for 7 years. I didn't get it until 2019, and I believe the reason is right here because they changed this burglary alarm call to a warrant. They were going to arrest me, the crime victim, because Vivint called them and reported somebody in my attic, and then they changed it and called that an accident. I have a feeling that is the reason they changed that here. And once again, Michael Chandler, the husband of April Chandler, secret police April Chandler, was on that call. And then this Eliad Emperan was also on this first Vivint alarm call. Okay. And so they refused to go up in the attic too, by the way. This is the second time Vivint on the 19th, December 19th. Now, remember earlier that year, I'd been ambushed and shot with burglar alarms going in my attic. I paid all this money to put a Vivint alarm system in the attic. It goes off, recognizes somebody's here, and here's what I'm being slandered. This is a lie that April Chandler made up, right? That follows me around on every police report. It's just crazy the extent that these corrupt police have gone on to ruin the life of an innocent crime victim that's reporting crime to them. They ought to be saying, thank you, Mr. Webb, and they arrest the criminals that are breaking in homes. But instead, they're destroying the lives of the crime victims to help the criminals that are the burglar, thieves, and murderers. And literally. And I'm sure that they're doing it, they're getting paid to do it. Here we got Kevin Bullard, Chad Simpson. Oh, yeah. He's the cop that murdered his wife. He was the secret police. His name wasn't, he was caught inside my home, and his name wasn't on the police report. And, of course, he was still alive in this time, and then alleged to murder his wife and then kill himself. He was on that call. And then Stephen Bracken, okay? And I want to show you the note here. No child, him. He thinks people are in the walls. I bet you they thought that was funny, because I got a feeling they knew that that's exactly what was going on. Somebody's come under this house, they put in a tunnel, and they've rigged one of these walls where they have a crawl space up in the attic. And remember, they're only in the attic while you're here, because when you're gone to work, they have their whole home, your whole home. That's why I'm saying that, they were getting into my main part of my home. My first call wasn't for somebody in the attic. It was for somebody in my house, And so that was the second time. Once again, they refused to look. And on one of these calls, it was probably this one, I'm showing them the evidence, because I got all this evidence. And I remember that police officer saying, buddy, I'm the low man on the totem pole, And what he's saying is he had been told by his supervisors to sit down and shut up, We're allowing these crimes. We're destroying the life of the innocent crime victim that's reporting crimes to us, And that's exactly how I took it. And, and I know he has a, family and kids and mortgage and, and that's what he's ordered. It's a top-down problem. It's his bosses that are told him, no, we're now in the burglary, theft, murder business, and we're just pretending to be police. December 18, 2012. And this is, I combined two different letters I got from the city of Midland, and basically they were over the Vivint alarm system, and they were telling me they're going to fine me if they get any more alarms at my house. Okay, so basically I put in this high-dollar third-party Vivint system in my attic to prove the crimes were going on, in addition to all my crimes and my testimony and all the other proof, right? It does its job. It dispatches police to my home that refuse to look, and then I get a letter from the city telling me they're going to fine me if they get any more calls. And I don't know how you can get any more lawlessness. This was on Christmas, because crime didn't take a break here, right here.
Yeah, it was an alarm, and I believe it to be a valid alarm, because I get a lot of valid alarms. It's just the problem is that the police have been over here more than a couple times, and they won't look, and so I don't see any big reason to call them, and that's kind of where we're at. So I just acknowledge the alarm, and then I document it, and then we just put it back in service.
I'm sorry, sir, for the trouble. So you don't want a police dispatch?
No, like I said, they've been here more than once, and they won't look. I have that recorded on audio, and so if they're not going to look, it doesn't matter for them to come over. I just document it.
Okay, and that was Christmas Day 2012. Burglar alarms going in my attic. Vivint saying, hey, you want us to dispatch the police? I'm going, no, it won't help. I just document it. Well, that's what I've done, document. Okay. This is in 2013, January 3rd, 2013. And basically, I had called the police because there was... the news was reporting, News West 9 was reporting they were looking for Eric Perez. It says Chris Perez here, but Eric Perez, because he was wanted for capital attempted murder. News West 9 accidentally lost all their records in 2014, so they can't provide that news story anymore, and there's a lot of lost records happened in 2014, 2015, but, that's what News West 9 lost all their records, but whatever. Anyways, I saw the guy across my street loading laundry up, switching cars. I called the police, right? the Lone Star Fugitive Task Force comes to my home, you know, and that was this call when I called the police to my home. Okay, so they come in, and I'm gonna show them on my camera the vehicles this guy that I think maybe Eric Correa is wanted for capital attempted murder, you know, and here's some names: Michael Hedrick, Nathan Land, David Haywood, and there was actually more of them. There was like 4 or 5 of them. They come in my house, a burglar sets an alarm off in the attic. They're like, what is that? You know, and I said, it's another home invasion, so I told them there. And so a legitimate law enforcement officer could talk to them, and, you know, unless they're liars, you know, and then they may be just, you know, liars. If they are, they should be fired, arrested, you know, but then they're going to go, no, we were over there and the burglar alarm went off because the burglar alarm went off my attic with police in my house, okay? This is just a random, you know, here I took screenshots. I had these motion lights in, you know, here in the attic, and had this camera system, and what happened is I couldn't see a burglar on the video, but they turned them lights on and it'd catch some lights coming on, and they were motion activated. So here, this one is November 2014, you know, here's 7:44 in the morning, motion detected by the security system, but wouldn't see anybody, okay? And at the same time, you know, I was looking at the same time, 8:13, you know, here, I'm going, oh, there's a trucker just pulled up, and that's what I was seeing at the time. You know, a trucker would drive up, okay, I'd hear somebody moving around the attic, all of a sudden it'd get quiet, burglar alarms go off, okay, about 30 minutes later, burglar alarms go back in the attic, I hear them come back, and the trucker drives off. They never unloaded freight. This is going on 24/7, and I had 2 people at the store tell me prostitution was going on back here, you know, and so I believe they were running like a 24/7 sex trafficking business, like a truck stop, you know, like lot lizards, whatever, people in the attic, and they were going over there, and they're meeting them truckers and coming back, or running drugs, or whatever they're doing, you know. But anyway, that was just the point of that one. These are only a sample. There's so many you can't even imagine. This is in 2015 in May. I'm showing lights coming on, and there's a timestamp, you know. And then you go back to my Facebook, and you'll see these Facebook and videos, you know, showing these, and you know, here I'm showing you an example. If you go to my YouTube channel and you do a search for burglar alarm, we're going to do that in a minute. So a lot of them are dated. 1/24/17 burglar alarm going off. 12/4/16 burglar alarm going off. Burglar alarm wakes me up. Burglar alarm early morning. Burglar alarm 9/9/17. On and on and on and on. There's probably 100 of them, and different times, different situations, every possible people in the house while I'm taking a bath, you know. I mean, you just name it, you know. And okay, and this one, and I wanted to play this little video.
Look at that.
You see it anywhere?
Yeah, it's right there. That was just
okay. Burglar alarm going off, and I got Jordan here with me. See, I want to show you. We've been working on these, and we're both down here in the regular part of the house, and it looks like we got a real live burglar up here in the attic, and them don't go off just to go off. That's a person. That's what I've been saying all along. It looks like it's about 4:09 and October 15th, 2016. Okay, and so that's just showing you that you know, they gone off while my dad was here. They went off while the Lone Star Task Force was there. Gone off while Jordan was here, you know. And just every scenario you can imagine, you know, that these alarms have gone off. And I showed you, you know, just a minute ago, you sat in front of them and worked. This was a video I got made on this here on November 14, 2017. These guys show up at my house, and oh, we got a phone tracking app. Our lost stolen phone is tracking to your house. And so like I said, I got a video. So I get my recorder out, and I tell them the story, all the break-ins of the house, everything's happened, all that. And I tell them, yeah, about an hour ago, burglar alarms went off my attic, and I just posted it on Facebook, you know. And I was willing to call the police. And you know, well, what's that have to do with me? And I said, that's who has your phone. The people breaking in my home, the people that were in my attic, they have your phone. That's why your phone is tracking to my house. And these guys didn't want it. This was the guy that lost his phone or whatever. He didn't want to call the police. And I got a feeling he remembered, all of a sudden he remembered where he lost it. And I'm wondering if he didn't remember, oh, I was underground at that. That's where I lost it or whatever, you know. And anyway, there's a video on that called Stolen Phone. I sent the former Mayor Morales and all the former chief police, and this is July 10th, 2018, an email called Burglary of a Habitation, theft of services at 3802 Fair Circle. And I talked about the history and the crimes, and then at the bottom I put like links to like 50 videos of burglar alarms going off in my home. They blocked me, and the crimes continued. They've never stopped. Last time I heard somebody in my house was yesterday. I mean, I don't know how many times I've contacted the press and law enforcement and others. I think I have it up here. Well, maybe, yeah, here it is. That's it right there. Burglary of habitation. There it is. And basically what I want to show you here, I want to zoom in. That's who it was sent to. Chief of Police, the current Midland Chief of Police, Seth Herman. And I sent him evidence with 50 videos of burglar alarms going on, and he blocked me, and the crimes continued. That's the current Chief of Police of the Midland Police Department. Okay, let me show you here. We can just randomly click on them because they're dated, right? Here we go. Let's click on one. Going off. I'm going to go this way. You can hear it in here. Hear it up there? It's been 4 to 5 days. And like I said, I don't know if that's going to take me back. Going off. No, I don't. Oh, it's right here. Okay. And then also links on the YouTubes, and that was the ones. This one's interesting. Alabama attic. A friend in Alabama goes into her attic. She's reporting people in her attic in Alabama. That's an interesting video. I can post these here later too. All the links. I'm trying to look for a short one here that. I just hit one. Burglary progress. There we go. This is random. I don't even know what it is. Burglar alarms going off in my home. I have been recording and documenting. You can hear it better. There's the date on that. That's on my YouTube. We're going to see more of them here in a minute, but I just wanted to show you that. Okay. Now keep in mind, this isn't just here in my home. It's all over the place, and that's where back in 2012 I didn't have all the proof that I had. All I had was this crazy story: burglar alarms going in my attic, somebody under my home shooting me. That ain't the case no more. Now I've proven I wasn't shot with my gun. Burglar going off in the attics. Homeowners all over the place.
That woman is facing charges after police say she burned down her home to get rid of someone who she claimed was in the attic.
300 Hickory. The complainant saying she can hear someone up in the attic. She smells cigarette smoke. She took her family. They're going to be waiting out front.
316 Geneva. Caller stating that he heard someone in the attic.
610 Jeter. Complainant's going to be a 7-year-old male. Stating he can hear yelling and fighting. His mother's in the attic. He can hear her being assaulted. Providence, and get 1096 female Layla, advising that she
1096.
people inside of her residence in her attic. Address on Springdale. It was reported that he heard voices in the attic.
1096 again. These are some of the addresses. See, that's the ones that got recorded off the police scanner. But then I've had many people tell me in person. They've emailed me. I have documentation, of that was going on in my house and all over Midland, Odessa. But bigger than that, other states. That first one was in Carlsbad, New Mexico. Okay. And so here in 2019, I put in a request to the city of Midland right here, request for information. And what I asked for is a list of all 911 calls for the last 10 years with homeowners reporting somebody in the attic. And then City Attorney Gates says the enclosed record is the only record in the city's possession, and it had nothing to do with people in the attic. And so basically, City Gates was saying the Midland Police Department said that nobody had ever reported anybody in the attic. And I have the police reports when I reported. I have the police reports when my Vivint alarm system reported it. I have all these police scanner calls. Somebody's lying. They're covering it up, you know, and then the press is hiding this from the public. Obviously, it's going on in many more homes than just the ones I happened to find out about, you know. Okay. What I want to do now here, and I've got some stuff here. If you go to my YouTube channel under Buddy Webb on YouTube, okay, there's a search button here, and you can do a search. And we're going to search for, I'm going to do burglar alarm. Doing my one finger typing here. Hopefully it's typing because I'm not even looking. There we go. Okay. Okay, so then I want to just show you, you can do that on my channel. You can search here and you can see all them alarms. And that's what I was showing earlier. That was just in a small example. There's so many you can't even imagine. Many of them dated, you know. Here we go. Let's look at this one. I'm in the bathtub. I'm making a video on my foot. Burglar alarm goes off in my attic. Burglar alarm. Yeah, that happened more than once too, you know. And this one, the plumbers were at my house. So once again, people were at my house and burglar alarms go off in my attic. You know, I just want to show you there. It's just, you know, this is what I was sending. I just picked 50 random ones and sent it to the chief of police of Midland, going, I've got felonies being committed against me at my home, and they blocked me. Okay. This one here, I named it Honorable and Right. And one reason I wanted to do this video, because it's on the day that I went to my dad's funeral, because the crimes never stop here. Come on, buddy, burglar alarm going off right here. Let's get in here. So in here, yeah, we got it up there. It's the one that's mounted right up there. We're familiar with it, right? That one's gone off. Sometimes it's another one. But I just got back today from Hobbs, Mexico. It was my my dad's funeral, and see, I mean, these people, I mean, they're evil. That's all you can say. They're just downright evil. I just buried my dad that day. You know, the crimes against me have never stopped. The people will never understand the amount of crimes that have been committed against me. You know, I mean, you'd have to live through it, you know. And what they've tried to do is terrorize me out of my home. That's what they've tried to do. That's why the police look the other way. It's a coordinated effort to terrorize me in my home. Why? Because it's connected to multiple murders. It is rigged with hidden access. Well, it's going to expose all the other homes that are rigged like it, you know. And you know, and I mean, that's all there is to it. Okay. Okay. What do we got here? Okay. Proof theft of services. Okay, I got a couple of videos on that. Okay, and these are in the winter time. Same thing happens in the summer with the air conditioner. Here I woke up and it's just cooking in my room, you know. And what it is they're manipulating. The people in my attic are manipulating because it's cold up there.
If I didn't stop it, I don't have any choice. That's what's going on at this house.
92 degrees in my bedroom.
92 degrees in here, and I'm sick, running the fever.
Doors bolted shut.
And what's the real deal? Oh, if you don't like it, we're going to shoot you and cut parts off you. "69 degrees in the hall."
Keep that in mind. 92 degrees in my bedroom, 69 degrees 10 foot away in the hallway. They're manipulating the HVAC system so the heater will blow hot air into the attic. That's what's going on, and the same thing happens. It costs a small fortune because the heater just runs and runs and runs. And that's the reason my bedroom gets so hot, you know. And then, you know, of course, wakes me up and I'm sick, you know. It'd go up to 100 degrees in my bedroom, and it's 69 degrees in my hallway. You know, I have to manually turn it off, the whole system, you know, because it's so hot. Okay. Proof. Okay. There's a couple of videos I have proving it took forever to prove that my security systems were hacked, you know. And before this hacking in 2013 at the protective order hearing. The Midland District Attorney, of course, who's working with the ex-wife and working with secret police, Rosa Rodriguez, the main dirty cop involved in these crimes, they asked me about my security system. I feel sure that the DA, I feel sure that Rosa Rodriguez and the ex-wife all knew that these camera systems were hacked, you know. And I wanted to show you this. This is the transcript. They're asking me, and why? Because they're wanting to insinuate, they're trying to make me look crazy, and that way they can keep breaking into homes, keep stealing from people, theft of services, burglary, and keep murdering people and stealing their property. And you know, that's what they were trying to do. That's the modus operandi there. And I want to show you, here's another deal. There's a guy that created this slander video, I call it. Buddy Webb, the disturbing tunnels under Texas. I turned this into law enforcement, and you know, it has 1 million views on this video. He takes parts of my video, okay, and tries to insinuate that I'm crazy. And what he does is omit the evidence that clears my name and tells the truth. And that's what he's done. It's done on purpose, is what he is. And so I have a feeling he was paid by the people that are rigging private homes and murdering people. You know, I really think that's what's going on. I want to show you this little part.
The one with pellets in it doesn't have.
Okay, that's part of my video.
Ever being broke.
Since then, he has doubled his security of his house and has still been getting broken into.
See, you know, and this guy, you know, calling me crazy, and like I said, you know, what he leaves out's the fact that the ex-wife, right, had tried to extort $1,800 a month from me, and if I didn't pay her the money, she said she was going to call me crazy, and that's what she did, you know, and you know, just leaves out the evidence that I wasn't shot with my own gun, and all the others, and you know, and here 1 million views of slander by this guy right here. Like I said, I think if law enforcement finds out who paid this guy to help cover up and then arrest him for accessory to capital attempted murder, accessory to capital murder, multiple capital murders, and then thousands of burglaries, you know. Here, just recently on this guy's site, I want to show you, I just got that last week, okay, this Rick Mortland, I posted about it. My father, Norman, knows you quite well. This needs to stop. Are you ever going to be ready to give back what's not yours? You put him a lot of stress in the last couple of days, or whatever, last couple of months, or something, or a couple years especially, but he knows what you're planning and it won't work. Good luck. Okay. And now notice I can't reply because this guy that created this slander video to cover up these capital murders, right, he's got me blocked, so I can't even reply to this guy. But you know, this needs to be turned into law enforcement because they need to find out who Rick Mortland is, who his father is, and then because obviously they know something about this home and these many crimes. And you know, when he says give back what's yours, then you know what I think he's talking about. He's talking about my home that I bought, that's my property, that has $1 million underground, facility, 3-bedroom home in the backyard that was used for also parties and used to murder that little girl in 2010. Okay, and when he said we know what you're planning, I believe that what that means is these are the people that have my email hacked. I provided the IP addresses to the people hacking my email to the FBI in 2012. Ain't nothing changed, you know. Got people breaking my house. That ought to be easy to see, you know, with all these burglar alarms going off. We know what you're planning. Do you think it's because the people break into my house, you're working with them? You know, that's what it is. I just want to show you that. Okay. Now we're going to get back on the proof videos. Missing cat food. Okay.
Okay, I'm back, and at 6:39 I was just outside filming, and y'all ought to seen that. What I'm going to do is go to the same camera right here. You can see there's a cat bowl I was talking about, okay?
The cat bowl outside.
And notice it's on 6:40, okay, 6:39. And we're going to see me when I come outside. What's 6? Okay. Notice how much cat food is in the bowl right here. That's the important thing.
See, I actually filled up the bowl with cat food.
There, okay, here's cat food canister. As I said on camera a minute ago, that I feed the wild cats, and then every morning I look and I see what cat come up and snuck up in the middle of the night and ate the food or whatever, you know. And just something I've been doing lately. And so, anyways, 6:35. Boom. Did you see that? Okay, I wanted to do this again. We're at 2:53. Look how much cat food is in the bowl. Okay, and then we're going 2:53, 39, 40, 41, 42. Boom. Cat food's gone. Did you see a cat come up and eat that? I didn't either. There's a blank space in time from 2:53 to 6:35, and basically somewhere where this camera was not recording, a cat obviously ate the cat food. I'm gonna show you one more time. I'm gonna back this up. And this is what I've been.
Okay, and so what I'm showing here is basically my cameras is the cat food bowl emptied, and a cat wasn't seen eating the cat food. How can that happen? And what happened is that the hack or the criminals are freezing the camera. That's what I'm showing. There's a function on the remote, and there's a function with software, freeze the camera, and then it just stays there solid, and you can get in front of it, move, whatever, and it never catches you. Okay, so the criminals froze that camera. They didn't freeze because of the cat or the cat food bowl. They froze the camera because they were using my front door. Okay, but during that time, the cat came up and ate the food, and that's what I was showing, is that the camera was froze right here. You know, I mean, you know, because the cat food bowl mysteriously emptied without a cat being seen, and that showed it. Okay, I'm gonna show you a second proof that I found, and this is a different camera system in my attic. Okay, 7/24/16, 12:39 motion detector.
Burglar alarm going off in my home.
There's the light.
It's,
See it?
June 24th, 2016 at 12:39. I can see it on camera number 4. I don't see it on camera number 3 though.
There.
It should be showing up on camera number 3. That was a burglar alarm that we seen yesterday. I recorded yesterday. And that's what I was talking about. Sometimes they don't show up on them other camera feeds. That's because these criminals are hacking these cameras or compromising them, and that's how they bypass it. And that has been used to commit these crimes against me, which includes the capital attempted murder. And so I want to make that real clear. I was shot while burglar alarms going off. You just seen that burglar alarm there, and it should have been in 3 different camera views, and it was only in 1.
Okay, so they have the other 2 cameras frozen at 7/21/16. It's all timestamp. 3, 4, and 7. Okay, burglar alarm goes off.
July 21st, 2016, about 3:57. Burglar alarm going off.
Now you can see it up there. See it?
On camera number 3, number 4.
See it?
And number 6. That's where it should be. That's a real alarm.
I think it's on this one.
This is just one of literally thousands.
This happened over and over and over right there. It's what they're doing is freezing the camera. That's why when you seen the same burglar alarm go off, is what happened is that they had them other 2 cameras frozen. And when it's frozen, they can walk in front of it, they can drop their gun, they can type on their keyboard, whatever, and you can hear them, and you can't see them on camera. And then you go, well, there's nobody on camera. And then the district attorney says, didn't you install cameras, Mr. Webb? You know, ha, 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 ha. You know, and then the police come over, oh, he thinks people, ha, ha, ha. They think that's funny, right? You know, they think murdering crime victims is funny. You know, that's literally what this is. They've got a hack, and they're hacking these cameras. And like I said, it's a lot bigger than just my home. You know, they're doing this all over the country. Okay, now let's just do a couple bit on the how and who, and I'm gonna show you here. Okay, why are they still breaking my home? Remember, there's rarely a day goes by I don't hear somebody in my home. What lacks is law enforcement. That's what lacks, okay? And, it's lawlessness. I've contacted everybody in contact over and over again. I have more proof than you can imagine, absolute 100% lawlessness. Believe multiple murders here, and so this right here, if you go to maps.google.com, you look up 3802 Fair Circle, look under here is the map view, there's a satellite view, there's a large underground bunker in my backyard, but you can't see it from above ground. You can see that right now, okay? I got a woman recorded telling me that there's 4 3-bedroom underground homes here. She said they're having pedophile parties there. Rhonda Didman Rogers told me one of them underground homes a half block away. Police could talk to her if they wanted. Layla Obrian said she worked on this safe house project, cost $7.35 million, and was finished in 1987. They could talk to Layla Obrian. These underground homes are believed to be where the famous wild oil show parties. My friend that told me about the young girl murdered at the 2010 oil show was leaving my house and at the party in 5 minutes. I believe she was, coming back, and she was here at this underground facility in the backyard. It's even possible that the mother of Haley Dunn was there at the 2010 oil show party, and even maybe Haley. That might be part of the problem there. So there's why, because there's still a million, they're trying to terrorize me from my home because murder failed, okay? These are old Google Earth history maps. You can see where it looks like a large tunnel ditch was cut behind the Home Depot coming directly at my home. I believe my friend that was at the oil show party was parked in front of Home Depot, going in on Big O, going underground, coming here, and going to underground home here. And this is where the little girl was murdered at, okay? That's why the crimes continue. They desperately want me out of my home, right? And when that Rick Mortland said, my father, give back what is not yours, well, why don't you just ask me if you think I owe something? But what the truth is this is my property, and they know that, that's what they're talking about, is this underground home here. Ricky Ronaldo said, I used to live in your home. Yeah, me and my brother used to go into tunnels under it. Why don't the law enforcement talk to Ricky Ronaldo? See, the problem is that they know, right? I mean, it's $1 million underground homes put in by millionaires hosting parties for international oil shows with a lot of wealthy and famous people there, and so they already know, that's why you have all these police involved in this. Okay, these are Google Earth history maps on the where, okay? Well, I really believe my neighbor had a tunnel entrance in his backyard, okay? I also believe there was another one that was over on the other side of Home Depot over here, okay? And so I'll go look at Google Earth map pictures, and this is dated on March 2008, and in his backyard, there's nothing there, okay? This is my home over here where I'm ambushed and shot. The next one on December 2009, by that time Mike Lawhon's dead and I had moved in the backyard, is what looks like I believe it's a tunnel entrance, okay? It looks like a storm shelter door, okay? See, it's not there in that picture. It is there in this picture, okay? And that's dated. So it was there around, in between that time when Mike Lawhon died and I moved in, okay? And then all of a sudden, I'm reporting all these repeated crimes to my house, etc., okay? Here's another flyby, and this is in October 2nd, 2014. It's still there. And I was trying to get a time frame. We know it's there on this date right here, okay, on October 2014. But by April 2016, it's gone. They took it out. They removed it. Let me show you. It's there. You can go to Google Earth. You can download these pictures of my house, and you can find that. It was. We know when it was put in. We know when it was taken out. And I believe that. I used to in the middle of the night. I'd see flashlights out here. I could hear people out there. I mean, I was like, I'm believing the people that were in here were coming. We're coming over here. And of course, in my backyard, I believe there's an underground home right here. And also over here is where I believed another tunnel entrance was. It was a manhole right there. There's two side-by-side manholes, and they took a live tree out. See where the tree's gone? So law enforcement could find out who took that tree out, why, and all that. You're going to find out that one of them was a tunnel entrance, I think. And that's where the people in the attic were going over here meeting these truckers running 24/7 sex trafficking business, and organized crime, organized prostitution, and always carries murder. Now on the who, well, that's a good question. We don't know who shot me, but what we do know is 11 police got caught on camera that they tried to disable on the night that I was ambushed and shot, right? That's when they withheld the police report. And so I sent them pictures to the mayor, chief of police, nobody would name them. I finally nicknamed them the secret police, offered a $2,000 reward. And in 2018, Empire Private Investigations named all 11 of them. They're the top 5: Rosie Rodriguez, April Chandler, Greg Chatwell, Tony Dickey, Marty Barrett. Rosie Rodriguez, the main player. She come to find out she was lifelong friends with the ex-wife, okay? And so here's the other ones. John Woodward, Martin County Sheriff. First one seen arriving at my house, never been explained why sheriff from different counties at my house minutes after a capital murder attempt. Mike Naylor died in the line of duty on October 9th, 2014. Some people wondered if he wasn't murdered by the other secret police because he's going to testify, right? Chad Simpson dies 2 months after Naylor did. So 2 secret police die, okay, and on within 2 months of each other, right? And that was a murder-suicide. Sandra Simpson's dead. Here's a Greg Nelson, Mark Gilliam, Michael Glick, okay? The next month or the next year in 2019, I find out there is a police report. It had been illegally withheld from me for 7 years. It had been subpoenaed before the protective order hearing in 2013. Okay, these are the names here that are on it. Okay, what you're going to see is 6 people, that the 6 here, their names are not on the police report. That's not an accident. That's called omission. That's a felony. That is falsifying police records. People should be in prison for that right now, for jail or fired or something, at least held accountable. Okay. And so what we see, these are the 5 that were caught on camera and identified by a private investigator. They were on the police report. Tony Dickey was in my house by the police report at 11:05. I believe he's the one come in the underground entrance that's now removed, and he's the one that let out that trapped burglar in that bathroom, you know. 5 police officers. Davis, Hale, Ramirez, Angel. Davis is a main player. He quit the police department at the same month as the protective order hearing, and he was the first dispatch. He was a sergeant at the time. It's believed he stole the voice recorder, because I was at the hospital saying there's proof at my house, and the proof was stolen, and it didn't get returned until a couple years later after I made a point out of it, you know. And Matt Davis is the one that looked like it stole it, and then he quit the police department. And this is the second entry, the only entry I was supposed to find out about, because the first entry on the 28th, 29th was when they were hiding the police report, and you know, and they were all secret for all them years. Okay, that's when they were planting the evidence and they were covering up the underground facility, all that. This is the only one that was going to be the one anybody knew about, and the only person that's in all 3 of them is Rosie Rodriguez. Okay, she's a main player. Law enforcement should be talking to Rosie Rodriguez, because we also believe that that this home is connected to the murder of Mike Lawhon, the last homeowner. You know, see, his death certificate says he died in Fort Worth. My neighbor Marilyn DeLuigi told me twice he died in this house, and one time she says, "I should know, right?" The Odessa American, they posted the death notice, said he died in Fort Worth, and then 4 days later they posted a second death notice that said he died at his residence. Just within the last 2 months, they deleted that death notice, that first one about Fort Worth, just within the last 2 months. Law enforcement should be talking to the Odessa American, finding out why they changed it in the first place, and why did they delete that 12-year-old death notice within the last 2 months. You know, and is that tampering with evidence in a capital murder? Because I believe Mike Lawhon was murdered. And then my friend told me about the young girl that was murdered at the oil show party. I believe that happened in the underground facility here. And so I'm going to wrap that up. I just wanted y'all to get an idea of why, you know, nobody's been caught on camera. And it's not, you need to do this, you need to do that. No, I've done more than anybody, any crippled crime victim living under the threat of death's ever done. Law enforcement needs to end this, stop these crimes. This is Buddy Webb, Midland, Texas.